Late night downtown, all I see is morning. I just need me a cup of coffee and damn I'm hungry. Let me slow down, take this exit, gotta hit the office. Gotta calculate some data, gotta make some offers. What's the value, what's the price, and what's the latest move? Who is buying, who is selling, it's just purely business. Got my money making babies, just deliver triplets. Analyzing all these assets, I just pick and choose. Time is money, yeah you bugging, time is time. 24/7, no off time, I chase a quota. Every second of my day is truly by design. You can stack up all that jewelry, I'm about the ocean. I'm talking Teslas, big Benzes and ash clashes, E-clashes and Bitcoin, I stay cashless. If I ain't got it, I will get it, I aim that way. If I ain't got it, I will get it, I aim that way. Used to sleep up on the floor, now I'm beach bumming. How they looking at me like I hit my peak or something. I met my demons and I fought them, now we sleeping something. They done took me out the dungeon, said a reaper coming. Think about it, write it down, then I execute it. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. Pick a go and get it done, I gotta execute them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. If they talking 10 or less, I cannot go around them. I had to bring my girl around to see how they feeling. Everybody felt the test, what a feeling. Now I'm hearing that they bums and they hella broke. And I ain't talking about your money, I'm talking about your soul. Yeah, man. All glory be to G.O.D. Ain't none of this possible without the man up above. You dig, man? Look, it is August 26th at 3:12 a.m. And this is that London session trade session. It's that London session trade session. I be doing too much for no damn reason. Yeah, man. So let's cut this music on, man. But like I said, man, all glory be to G.O.D. Ain't none of this possible without the man up above, man. So, and whatever it is that you do, however it is that you do it, man, just go ahead and put God first. You know, what I found out is that if you do not put God first, you could do what you do, and it could, let me write this down real quick. Yeah, man. So like I was saying, man, it's that London session shit. But put God first, man, because if you do not put God first, you're gonna see that things might be a little bit difficult. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is just have a clarity of mind. Have a clarity of thought. Understand that things will get difficult, but if you just go through and review how it was difficult, you will understand that, or what made it difficult, you will understand that it was your response to the situation. It was your train of thinking or your definitions around the situation that made it difficult. If you just reframed it and rethought about it in a certain way, it probably wouldn't have been that different. So if you just tune into your higher self, tune into your thought process, putting God first, tune into that God frequency, the higher frequency, and just operating off of the best of your ability in that positive direction, man. So I don't trade the first 15 minutes of any type of session. So New York session, the first 15 minutes. This session we have less than 1 minute before we start to
before we start to analyze some shit. Excuse me. Let me get some fucking water, bro. My mouth dry as shit. Mouth dry as shit, bro. But yeah, though, and pull up this goddamn. So, going into the chart, man, the market has been in the overall, I would say, in the overall range. You know, we had came down a couple times out the range, but really, ultimately, we have been in that range. You know, right now we still in that range, on the bottom side of this huge ass range that was established, you know, on the 20th of August. So the range that was created on the 20th of August, man, has been holding, and we couldn't really get above that range and below that range too much, you know. So going into yesterday's price action, it was kind of it was ranging for the most part. We had a beautiful London trade though. I'm talking about beautiful, bro. I mean, I wish I would have held it, but I had got out, you know, at a specific level, and we will go into that right now. But look how that shit played out after, you know, New York session. Right off my entry, straight into the point of control, man, which is crazy. You got high volume all through here, and it just went straight into that high volume, man. Insane. Going into the 1 minute. Going into the 1 minute, you know, to break down this, to review this London trade, you know, we was in some drawdown. We almost got stopped out. Now, my stop was 50% of this overall 1 minute wick. I was looking at a 4-hour wick range zone off of 370, and, you know, we had that good rejection. So taking 50% of this candle wick, boom, my stop is right there. Bet boom, right? And we almost got stopped out. But thank God we didn't though, right? And then the take profit was at this level, at that candle that broke that candle high right there, and they're like swimming for that take profit. And then, you know, it's crazy because after I closed the position at that level, the market respected that level, came up to the upside, and again was not able to break that level right there. And you know, it was doing its thing, ranging, but I just love how off of my entry, or that price where I decided to buy. And the reason why, decided to sell, the reason why I got into the market is because of the wick range on the 4-hour. But you know, when you come below this quote-unquote inventory zone, right, support range or whatever support zone you want to call it, but I call it an inventory zone. Once you close below that heavy support, once you close below that heavy with a candle, and then this came with its own gap too, so then that's showing you momentum in that direction. So boom, so the momentum in that direction, a yellow level, right, a black dot, green dot fell in, right, below an inventory zone. Now, okay, we did come up crazy off of that, but look at this inventory zone again. We couldn't do nothing with it. So that was a good sign at that point in time that, okay, cool, we might have that potential for it to keep on coming down to the downside. And then boom, we come down, a little retrace, and then boom, I'm getting out specifically at that candle low, calling it a day. And yeah, man, that's a London session shit, man. That's enough on the day. I didn't trade New York. Because for one, I was in class, but you know, you just had that down moving and it was consolidating for the rest of the day, stuck in this no trade zone on the 1 minute. This is a 5 minute no trade zone for yesterday, and it sucks because that's where we're at now. Which is crazy, man. But yeah, no trade zone. And what makes it a no trade zone? Consolidation. Once you consolidating, no trade zone. I don't see no black dot, green dot right here. I see a black dot, green dot here. So this is where the buyers came in heavy. Between this price and this price right here. This price and this price. So didn't really do nothing from them prices. No follow through to the upside to break that high, but off of that high we did come down heavy. But yeah though, man, we're gonna go over the Fibonacci today though. That was today's shit. That was the London trade review. You feel me? For that London session shit. It was a beautiful trade. Man, I should have held this shit though, but today we're gonna talk about Fibonacci zone. We're gonna talk about the Fibonacci sequence. Because where this shit went, that's what I was kinda thinking about. Where that shit went, you gonna see it on the Fibonacci. Watch it. Don't worry about it. This low, right? Black dot, green dot. At the yellow level, black dot, green dot, we come up. Ultimate high, right? Point of control, but look at that. 618. Boom. Stayed above the 7. The 78 retracement, but the 618 retracement smacked that thing. I mean, right into that thing. So that's what we're gonna talk about, the Fibonacci's. And if we are in this Fibonacci leg, right? What you could do is hit it here, right? To the top. And it could go lower. It could take out this low. But that's besides the point. This is what is interesting right here. When you take the Fibonacci, when you take the Fibonacci and you go from so instead of go from the bottom to the top, you go from the top to the bottom. Boom, boom. And then what you want to do is look at your extensions, right? Boom, your extension, first extension, second extension. Go to the left of the chart. You feel me? It doesn't line up with anything. Doesn't line up with anything. So first extension lines up specifically with the top of the range. Target one. If I'm buying, that's where I want to go. Truthfully speaking, you feel me? Like if I'm buying anywhere through here, target one is on the line, right? So at 29,560. Now, will I hold it to that? I do not know. Will I even take a trade? Who knows? But we coming up with game plans. 560. Alright, so that's what we're gonna get into, man. Today is the Fibonacci sequence. We are past, the first 15 minutes of the London opening session. So when we come back from commercial break, we're gonna go ahead and generate a couple ideas, and we're gonna see, how this Fibonacci played out over the past couple, days and whatnot. So with that being said, let me go into this. Let me load up that thingery, and yeah, man. All glory be to GLD. We'll be right back.
Bro, I'm really getting tired of this, man. People hear you think out loud and assume that you're struggling. People see you quiet and for some reason assume that you're depressed. Some people see you improving and they think that you're lost. And it's crazy because everybody has a story about you in their head, and most of the time it's not even really about you. Maybe they're not even talking about you. Maybe they're just talking about the version of you that they remember. Or maybe they could be talking about themselves, because sometimes people project, they guess, they fill in blanks, but you don't owe nobody nothing. So what do I do? Nothing. Keep building, keep creating, keep living. People will update their opinion eventually, or they won't. Either way, you still have to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, man. Either way, man, you gotta wake up in the morning, man. And don't nothing change. Don't nothing change. But yeah, man, so we are under the POC, the point of control. The point of control is yesterday's highest volume of trade. So at this price point, this is the highest volume of the most orders. The most orders came in at this price. For whatever reason, the upside, I don't know. I might be wrong. Who knows? This is not financial advice, by the way. This is for educational purposes only. You dig? But yeah, though, man. So we are below the MA. We are below, the 50%. Right here, we just broke below 50%, and we just broke below the point of control from yesterday's price action. So our shorts on the line, can we come take out this low right here? Can we go into this low? So that's something that we are gonna be thinking about. When it comes to the Fibonacci. When it comes to the Fibonacci, right, it could go into these lower levels. And it's crazy because we have a blue level right here. So this is a significant price where a bunch of demand came in, a bunch of buyers came in. So well, obviously it comes up, but this is where a lot of orders from my indicator, which you could trade with my indicators. It's on TraderView.com. Go to the indicators tab and search Curated Currency -origin. And you will have these dots pop up, and so a blue level means that this is where a lot of volume came in too as well. So a black level is just a level where it's like where buyers came in and they held it, but with not as much volume, but still it's a level to think about. And then that level will turn yellow once it gets broken through and get closed below. So these were black levels at one point in time until they got broken through to the downside to turn yellow. So now you can reference them to the upside. So you have a yellow level on your chart. You know what I'm saying? You may want to look at that level for entries and whatnot. But going into the Fibonacci, you will look at the black dot, green dots, and see what legs come in based on that black dot, green dot. But it's really based on location. So if you go to the higher time frame, like the 15-minute, that's the chart where I mark things up. I don't mark nothing up on the 1 minute or like the 1 hour. I mark everything up on the 15-minute. So it's already pre-marked up, but really we have a range right here. So what leg are we paying attention to? We're paying attention to this leg right here. This is our workspace, right? This is your workspace, and within your workspace you have inventory zones, the point of control zone. The inventory zone is just support zone. So you have an inventory zone right here. Boy, price could go back into it. Support beat. All right, inventory zone, point of control is right there. You have another inventory zone right here, right? And we kind of just went through that. We have went through that. So closing below a inventory zone could put you into it could drive price lower. But right here though is your next inventory zone. But I'm not looking for shorts right now due to the fact that we are in an overall uptrend on the higher time frame. And we are at this little demand area right here. So we in this little area right here, this little demand area right here. So I'm not looking for no shorts. I'm looking for buys. And then we had that leg up too. So again with the Fibonacci, you want to look at that leg, right? This is your leg, and you really wouldn't put up no other Fibonacci up on the chart, not nowhere in here. Nowhere in here you use the Fibonacci. All right, so here we have price coming down, right? Obviously price is coming down, so we pick that down leg. What is that key down leg, right? Well, obviously this is your key down leg. Boom, your key down leg. So that would be your key down leg. Now it's not a workspace because your workspace is from here to here type situation, right? So this is that down leg though that came in that the high couldn't get broken. So for Fibonacci purposes to the downside, now because you use the workspace for the buy side. Once the workspace fails, now you're thinking about sales. Now you're thinking about the sellers. So if the workspace fails, right? This is your workspace right here. right? And this is just a range. So I'm gonna delete this, so it might say it's less on the, so it's not on the chart. I'm gonna delete that box. I'm gonna delete this fair value gap. Delete this little thing. This is your workspace. But as you can see though, we came down heavy, so this workspace failed. Sellers came in heavy. The buyers ain't buying. Oh shit, they did buy. Okay, cool. Well then now we gotta pull the Fibonacci. Right. So then the Fibonacci from the low, from the high to the low, it had retraced into the 78%. Ain't that some shit? Into this golden zone. So between the 78 and the 80, golden zone. Ain't that some shit? You see what I'm saying? So the Fibonacci is insane. So then boom, these are where you could get in. But what I love about the Fibonacci is going from the high, from the low to the high, to reverse it and look at the extensions. It hit that first extension immaculately. You see what I'm saying? Even pause right there. And two, if it can't hit the second extension, then you look at the first extension, and if we create support at the first extension, it might go back up into something. So the Fibonacci, bro, is that. You know what I'm saying? I love the Fibonacci, bro. So that's one example. This that leg, that down move right there for the Fibonacci. Put my original thing back up here. I ain't trying to have y'all mess with my stuff. And then to the gaps in here showing you momentum to the downside. And here, ranging. You have a range in here. And we broke out of that range with this leg right here. So this is your leg with that pause in the market. So boom, this is your down leg, right? So low, high to the low, and it retraced into that 61% before that leg was produced. Where on that leg we understand that it had reacted to that 71%. If we use this Fibonacci and we reverse it, the low to the high, first extension, kind of the same area as the other one, a little bit lower. So the Fibonacci sequence, man, is a powerful tool. The thing about the Fibonacci is that it is the oldest, trading tool. It was one of the first trading tools ever to still be implemented today, for real, from back in the day, I love this black dot, green dot sequence at that, price right there, because that price is at this, quote unquote, this yellow level where it could be a support level. So seeing that bias came off the support level, we could pull up the Fibonacci here, but we're not, because we're looking at this workspace that we're still in. So we have this huge workspace from yesterday. So this yesterday's price action, we have that workspace in here, and the only Fibonacci that we are looking at is from this low to this high, and we're looking at is this a good area to buy? Is this a good area to buy? This would be your golden zone. My mouth be dry as shit, bro. Yeah, but this would be your golden zone right here. Yeah. What's it at? I don't got it. Guess I don't got it. But this would be your golden zone. So could it go into there? And I kind of wanted to go into there, because now we coming below that point of control, right? So our sellers on the table. But either way though, that's the Fibonacci, and we are at that 61% on the Fibonacci, or we are below the 50% of the Fibonacci right now. So we are below 50%. 50% is right here. Scoot this thing over. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna just try that. 221 is that 50%. So boom. and we came out that 50% immaculately, which is crazy. So, you know, we had the point of control right here. Let's draw that back real quick. We have your first 15 minutes of London. But we have this range that we're in, right? From this low to this high is a range. So really no trade zone, but I'm gonna go with there's your range right here. And now we're dipping out that range. So, and it's really just that last leg up, or this last little leg up. And so it's really an internal range. That's what I was kind of looking for. It's your internal range. With this, and then this black dot, green dot workspace failed. It's your internal range. And if you would have pulled up, for example purposes, pulled up the Fibonacci, we came into this level, the golden area, and then from that golden area, we see that it had came off of that area immaculately to create this down leg right here. So what we do is, over here at Curated Currency, you feel me? We go ahead and we look at that low, and then we look at what candle broke that low, and then we look at what high that where it came from. So that high, so boom, this is your candle. So then this is your high right here, coming down. This is your pullback. So for Fibonacci 1 minute sequence purposes, this is your golden zone where it could come into. Now, if it cannot go above the 50% and it comes down to the downside, the sellers may have this market, bro. So boom, you go in the area. I'm gonna do it not gold, but you know, that's your golden area. This is your golden area here where the buyers should have came in, and then like it's crazy because they did come in here. Black dot, green dot, little pullback, boom. You feel me? Bow, crazy. But then came down, the sellers took control. So, you know, what can you do? Point of control wheel below that, yellow level below that shit, the MA below that shit, 50% below that shit. Buyers are coming in and we can't get above the 50%, let the sellers come back in, we might have to be selling. But on the 1 minute though, right, we are in that candle. So at this point in time on the chart, it's about patience, being very, very patient. So, you know, would I reference these 1 minute Fibonacci's? No, not really. Hell no. Because you do not want to like have 1,000 things on your chart. What we want to think about is this range. Right? And then what we do know is that we are within one candle, right? Which is this candle. So what momentum do you want to go with? And that's the main question that we have to ask ourselves is, do we go with this up momentum? Or do we go with this down momentum? Well, let me ask you a question. Is this leg bigger than this leg? I think so. So then when we are in this internal range like this, you want to see that low get taken out before you think about selling. But then again though, we're at that 61% for the Fibonacci for that buy setup, because we did not, let me repeat, we did not break this low. We didn't break this low right here. So the sellers ain't really that strong until the sellers come through and start breaking these, see that black level that didn't turn yellow. So until the sellers break that black level and make a yellow, and until the sellers come break this low up over here, ain't nobody selling that nothing. I'm looking for buyers, but could we just sell though? Because we have situations. We got situations, dog. So the situation here is the buyers don't come up like that for real, and we come up off of this range and break this low, I might like enter here with stops above this high, call it a day, to come into this Fibonacci and then break even. If we come into this Fibonacci and come up, I'll break even up around here. So that's a scenario. That's a little situation that you can go ahead and think about. You feel me? So that's what I'm thinking about. Cause look how fast we come up. Look at that. If this is your internal range, bro, It's not a coinkydink that we coming off of that level immaculately with that type of candle. Now we do have a black dot green dot showing you momentum to the upside. This is where buyers are coming in. So let's look at them two prices. Right, so this price right here, whatever that price is, and then this price is whatever that price is. What is the behavior at that price? Well, right here we are creating support in 1 minute. Well, damn. So even though the 1 minute is coming down like this with this candle, right? You have this big candle, but we are in this candle range. So really, you don't do nothing, and you don't even read none of these candles. You don't even read the black dot, green dot. Because why? Because why? You're in that one candle. It's called consolidation. So you know what you call this right here? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You know what you call this? I got you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I ain't write down nothing now all day. Oh, black level just popped up. You know what you call this right here? Patience. Patience, bro. Yeah. Mic check. Damn, that shit dropped out. One fucking little second. But yeah, man, patience. And if we don't get nothing, you don't get nothing. So we're gonna go to commercial break real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into go to commercial break and we'll come back. We're gonna get into some shit, cause look, I'm thinking if we don't get no momentum, I mean, if we don't get no momentum to the upside, I'm thinking if we come to this short, bro, it might be a short. Not gonna lie, but we'll think about that when we come back, man. All right.
I spent the last 2 days going to bars, looking at rich people, looking at traders, looking at celebrities, and I realized something. Most people don't need more money, they need fewer illusions. The illusion that a nicer car fixes insecurity. The illusion that more followers create some type of fulfillment. The illusion that getting picked by somebody makes you valuable. The illusion that, making $10,000 a month finally means that you stop worrying. I've met people with money that are so miserable due to the simple fact that what they need to go through and what they need to keep on doing to keep on living that life. And then I've met people with not nothing that have to deal with, not any of that, and they sleep peacefully every single night. I'm not trying to escape the system no more, I'm just trying to use the tools now without worshiping them. Trade, create, love people, and don't let illusions cost you your peace. Same system, different day. This is Curated Currency.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Could the sellers come through? Could that be a thing? We're gonna find out. Tell you that much, man. We are gonna find out. To go over a loss in the market. Let's talk about this loss in the market from a couple of days ago. On Monday, this was a significant loss. Now it was based on this level that came out of the range. This low right here. So if you're coming out of a range, right? You're coming down heavy out of that range up here. This is a level you want to pay attention to, because if you break this level, the sales could come in. It's not a coincidence that on the volume profile, you have a lot of volume at that level too. So during this New York session, which I don't trade, which is insane, we had went below that level, little retrace, and it came down heavy as hell. That was a short right there. Now we created support right there. Now I didn't think that this little ass inventory zone, will hold like that. And it held like that. And the reason why I thought it wouldn't hold like that is because of this down move like that, but it went up like that, and it took me out, man. The reason why that was the stop, right? The reason why that was my level to get out the market is because what level or what candle high broke this low. So this is that candle high right here. Where's that high originating from? Right here, right? So that's where my stop was at. So that high right there, that broke this candle low, you feel me? So this candle low, what candle broke that candle low? I mean, like, what candle broke this candle low? This that candle, where'd it come from? Boom, there's a gap right here, but this is that high that came through that broke that low. You feel me? So boom, that's where my stop was at. Probably took it prematurely, but that's where my stop was at. Nah, I charted it wrong. That's where my stop was at. So boom, your entry is off of that, 270 level. Oh, what was it? Yeah, no, 120 level. The 120 level right here, and then it stops above right there. So a good little loss on the chart, good little regular loss, man. This one right here, this is a sell right here in the market, bro. Where I just, bro, like, imagine holding that bad boy right there, man. Things be happening, man. Alright, these sales are coming through. Now this is a pause in the market. This is a pause in the market. I'm trying to go ahead and alright, so boom, golden area will could come up into. So even here, right? Black dot, green dot, this is an actual pause or whatever, because this is an actual pause. But even with the black dot, green dot, the bars are coming in at those prices. This is that one candle that is in. So this could be that pause for it to come to the upside. And now if it does come to the upside, I'm not even going to trade it, but that'll be good information to see what happens right here at this level. If this turns into a yellow level and we can't get back above it, that is a stronger reason to take this sell position. What stops above, the highs in here. But we had to look at the candle that broke this low. There's a candle that broke that low. So then this will be our stop. So this would be our ultimate stop, really, no matter what. So right here, stop area. Right, is at that candle high. Why? Because this is that candle that took that low right there. These lows right there. Where did that come from? That high right there. There's a gap right here, but it came up from that high, came down heavy, broke them lows. This is that leg. If the buyers cannot get above that area, we could sell this beat, come down to the downside. Easy money shit. So this is your stop area up here. And then if the buyers overtake the market in this area, right? If the buyers overtake the market here, support 230s, look to buy. Right. But if not for nothing, the sell-off could be a thing, but I am ultimately looking for buys. And the buys, above the point of control. We went below the point of control, but if you could get above the point of control, and create support right there, that'll be a good buy area. Because of the simple fact that, we, for one, we have this workspace, and then we came off of that workspace immaculately off the 78%. So if this up move is really that move, this would be the overall pause in the market for it to continue to the upside. So that's why I'm looking for buys, really anywhere where buys come in, where the buyers do show themselves. And how do I know where the buyers show themselves? If I'm looking for buys in the market, I have an indicator, which you can find at TradingView.com. Go to the indicators tab and look at Curated Currency dash origin, and you'll see these boxes pop up. These boxes and these dots pop up. Look at that sell off, man. That shit crazy. Ain't that some shit, bro? Can't make this up. So we might have to be ready to execute. We might be ready to execute. Look at that, bro. That's crazy. But we have to be careful of the 61% retracement on the Fibonacci. But that would have been a good entry though. If that was the stop area, that would have been a good entry right there. But you know, even with us entering somewhere right here, we could, with that being the stop. But like, you can't really just do nothing, really. Patience, because we're still in that range. But if you come to this price right here though, at 180 something, stops above that black level. So then boom, stops above there. That's too big of a stop. Well, not really. 50 points is a regular stop. So this isn't too bad. Top of the range, 27 points. And then top of this top right here, 32. Yeah, it's not bad. So this is your whole area of stops right here. This would be your whole stop loss location. And it's crazy because that's above. Then that 50% too is like your protection. Stop area and patience all through this bitch. Buyers hold it here, we'll be Gucci. Bitch, grab the tax hold. 50% could be the protector, you know? If we can't get above the 50%, alright, man. We can go to these lower prices. Now the range off of these lows to that area isn't even that big of a range. So I don't know about the sellers, man. I would like to break through it heavy, break through the 618, reject all through here, and then sell off. Yeah, and then sell off. That is a prior level inventory zone, so we could come into this inventory zone and come up. So we got until 4:15, man. Another, 20 minutes, and then that's London session. So if the market's not moving, man, the market ain't moving. What you want, like what you really wanna. You can't force nothing. If nothing's there, nothing's gonna be there. It's very interesting though, man. Let's go to Bitcoin real quick. It's insane, man, because Bitcoin, I called this level on the 4 hour for price to do its thing in. Or the daily, I'm lying. The daily. And it's crazy because it came off of this gap area immaculately. And then it's playing with this whole area. But I did not know it was going to retrace like that heavy, that quick. And it damn near fulfilled that whole range. Key prices. From this key price to that key price. From this area where buyers popped off. And then this area where the sellers came through. They held that buy shit. Are they going to go into this price? But Bitcoin, man, it still might be alive. But if it cannot break above, certain levels, Bitcoin, it might come down, man. Who knows, bro? It might come down heavy if it don't break that red box up there that we had. So that's what's interesting too, man. How the Bitcoin market is moving right now, and it's crazy because NASDAQ, it's a whole different, thing. But is NASDAQ gonna hit all-time highs too? Going into the daily on the NASDAQ chart. Can we go back into them all-time highs? Like it's crazy because right now we're sitting at all-time highs, man, in multiple markets. So can we get back into them all-time highs on NASDAQ, and then on Bitcoin, can we get back into that 100K? Can we get back into that 120,000, bro? That's crazy, dog. That's insane shit right there. So the markets, man, it's one hell of a time to be alive, man. So if you on this stream, if you ever see this video, man, one hell of a time to be alive, dude. Tell you that much, man. Also, too, for the sell momentum, for the sellers, the market did open to the downside. So today, will that seller momentum continue? So more so, if the sellers do come in, these are optimal levels to enter the market. High above fair, near the stop area, or coming out of the gap, breaking some lows, getting in what stops above the range higher, the stop area. I don't see these buys really coming through like that. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it seems like we're ranging out, man. So we're gonna go to the last break, and then we're gonna have a little review session, man. So let's go ahead and go to a little commercial break, little brizzy, and then we'll chop it up for the review session, man. Yeah.
Yeah, 3P, see me. Got the same whip, but got different mileage, the same old dream. I had to sit in silence, I blew me a few. I paid for the science, I built me a box. I'm trapped in compliance, the kids on the phone, I kept calling, no answer. Life throwing punches, I danced with the cancer. Shawty was crying, I heard all the fucking panic, but I can't go broke, trying to save the planet. Masters in August, apartment in August, the same little room, but my thoughts is enormous. I got work at night and church in the morning, man, nobody clapping, and I still performing. 3 no trade days, market saying nothing. Wednesday 200 points, I ain't chasing nothing. Thursday just wander, Friday just drifting. Funny how patience was the only thing different. Spent 3,600 just to learn emotions. Still cheaper than video studios and promotions. 5 times funded, who can say that? 10,000 paid out and I cannot erase that. Top step receipts, CVS printouts, I can backstand it, I ain't tap out. And I ain't rich yet, I ain't broke neither. I got intuition, I'm a growth dreamer. My son and daughter call me hero and I carry that weight. Building the kingdom is something you can't make in a day. 8 years from now, if I stay in my lane, they're gonna inherit the system that I built from pain. I got the same whip, but got different mileage. The same old dream, but different nervous system. Same system, different day, keeping currency. Same system, different day, curated currency.
That's one of the dopest shits I've ever done right there. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's one of the dopest shits I ever done right there. I ain't gonna front not to you. I love that little song right there, man. New music coming through though, man. But to review the session, we had open to the downside. London session, came down to the downside heavy, but at the end of the day, man, the market is ranging. London session, it's a range bound market. There's nothing really that you could do about it. The market's doing whatever the market gonna do. All that you could do is, document it. Just go over certain key levels. The main key level in the London session, I would say, is this gap right here. This fair value gap. This momentum to the downside area. So if I go into boom, this main gap right here, and it's crazy because from that main gap, It hit the downside. So is that momentum going to continue into New York? Even now, like around 4:35 going into 6 o'clock, can this momentum to the downside off of London open continue? We are in a range, not for nothing. Can the buyers come in off of certain, inventory zones? Can the point of control, can we stay below the point of control for the market to continue to come to the downside? Or can we have the buyers come in and hold that, point of control for us to come to the upside? It's a lot of things. It's a whole lot of potentials, We had came off of the Fibonacci immaculately, right? Today's main lesson was the Fibonacci. We had went over a bunch of Fibonacci shit, but immaculately off the 78%, the market came to the upside, immaculately. So that's something to take note on going into New York, preparing for New York. That's something to really pay attention to. Is a lot of these key factors. The golden zone is below price. So could that be an area for New York to target? Or could that be the target for the shorts if we take a short here somewhere? We had the Fibonacci extension all the way up high up here. Right. I had to flip the extension real quick. I gotta go to the time frame. I'm tripping. Look at the extension. Come on, beat. Bruh. Come on, bitch. Alright. Look at the extension, my bad. Look at the extension. It's right at that range high up here. So, the buyers coming in based on this Fibonacci. Can we go hit the extension to the upside? Because we had immaculately came off of this Fibonacci to 70%. You feel me? From this workspace. So that's that, Fibonacci backwards. And then from this low to that high right there. Came into the 71% golden range right here, immaculately bounced off, and there's just a pause in the market. So the buyers come through above 50%. That might be something to pay attention to, man. So with that being said, man, all glory be to G-O-D. Ain't none of this possible without the man up above. And whatever do, however it is that you do, please, just try to put God first, alright? Out the way, man. Love y'all. Everybody wants a breakthrough, but no one talks about accumulation. A tree doesn't become a tree, it collects rings. A city doesn't become a skyline, it collects buildings. A reputation don't just appear, it collects decisions. Everything valuable collects. We celebrate the shot that goes in, but ignore the thousands that taught the hand where to finish. That's backwards. Because the make was never the moment, the make was the receipt. The work had already happened. That's why I don't count days no more. I collect evidence. Evidence that I showed up, that I practiced, that I stayed curious. Evidence that I kept my word to myself, because eventually, evidence becomes identity, and identity starts to make those decisions for you. You stop asking, can I do it? Because you've collected too much evidence to think otherwise. So today, don't chase the result. Collect another receipt, one more rep, one more conversation, one more promise, because tomorrow, you won't remember today's score, but you will become the person today's choices were building. Same system, different day. This is Curated Currency.